Oh, it's wider. This Oak Park City Council meeting is hereby called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Ed Norris, please call the roll.
Mayor McClellan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Here.
Councilmember Speech,
Here.
Councilmember Radner, Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Please note that we are removing item 12A. The staff is getting more input on the pool, so that will be at the next council meeting. And the map that you were passed out goes to 15C. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Support.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, supported by Councilmember Speech. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the consent agenda, which are routine items presented without discussion. Any council member can ask to have one of them removed for discussion. Item A, special council meeting minutes of March 27th, 2017. Item B, Communication Commission's meeting minutes of November 16th, December 21st, and January 18th. Item C, request to reschedule the April 10th, 2017 Planning Commission meeting to April 24th, 2017. D, Class C liquor license renewal for Sahara Restaurant and Grill, 24770 Coolidge Highway. E, Tavern license renewal for Jade Palace, 13351 West 10 Mile Road. F, resolution of support in the 2017 Tri-Party Program and to authorize the submission of funding for repairs to Greenfield Road. G, licenses new and renewals as submitted for April 3rd, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns. Is there a second?
Support.
Supported by Councilmember Speech. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We don't have any elected official. We do. We have our Oakland County Commissioner, Helene Zach. Welcome.
Good evening. I am one of the two county commissioners that represents the city of Oak Park, Helene Zach. And I want to give you an update of some things that are going on in the county that might be interesting. Oh, sorry. Helene Zach, one of the two Oakland County commissioners representing Oak Park. Our sheriff a year or two ago, went to the different police chiefs and asked them, how can we help you? And one of the things that they asked for was to have a better forensic lab for different testing. Presently, when they do different forensic exams, they have to go to the state of Michigan, and the state of Michigan labs are notoriously slow. So we're in the process of renovating and creating more blood and alcohol testing, and we also in Oakland County are starting a DNA lab. And I'm told that it's finally going to be operational, I think in June, and it's years in the making. And again, when we sent, as Oakland County residents, sent test results to the state, it can be months of waiting for the results. And when we do it locally, we'll have a very fast turnaround. So it's going to mean, much better service for our residents to have that. We're also working as a result of the Flint water and the concern for clean water. We are in the process of purchasing a new lead analyzer and establishing a process where people will be able to have their lead analysis done in Oakland County rather than go to the state. So we're really excited about that. It's in process, and I will let you know more when it's operational, but we're getting close. One of the things that I do as county commissioner is every year we vote on the 911 surcharge, which is the emergency surcharge that is on every telephone line, whether it be a cell or a landline. And this is some of the funding that funds our emergency services. There's also funding that can come through the state as well. So in the last couple years, we are in the process of changing the technology. Historically, we were using copper lines through the telephone system, and we have to move into an SENet, which is a different type of technology. The good news is that this new technology will allow people to text for services as well as to send photos for emergency and video, which will be, we can do it normally, but we can't do it for emergency. So it's going to be much more user-friendly. But there is a cost to establishing all of the new equipment, probably new towers, and so forth. So we are in the process. I was briefed on it at the last Finance Committee. We're looking at what do we need to assess. Presently, we are doing 28 cents per line, and it was 19 cents a few years ago. And we can go up to, I think, 42 cents. So I will keep you posted on that. But it's minuscule, but I've heard from families like when children have phones and you have 5 cell phones in a family, it could add up as far as additional cost. But it will, it will definitely improve service over time. Any questions for me?
City Manager Tunge.
Commissioner Zach, I just wanted to publicly thank you for your support for our Corridor Improvement Authority Development Plan. A lot of people don't know that we've made some amendments to the plan recently. With your support, the county commission opted into those changes, and so I wanted to thank you for that.
You are welcome, and that's part of what I become your liaison. And I'm very excited about this Corridor Improvement Authority. It is a downtown development opportunity, and this is legislation that our former state senator Gilda Jacobs actually led the efforts, and she was thinking about places like Oak Park when the legislation was created. And so I think it's going to be a fabulous opportunity for the city, and I was happy to be able to represent Oak Park in that initiative.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking your time to be here and update us. Special recognition and presentations. We have proclamations honoring 2 groups that go out of their way to do kindness for the neediest of us, and to reach out and help and make it special. And we're just delighted to have these people in our city as a congregation and as a business. So first, there is a beautiful proclamation honoring Beth Shalom that I'd like to share with you. Whereas Congregation Beth Shalom, a progressive conservative synagogue that has been serving Metro Detroit's Jewish community for almost 60 years, opens their doors to host Shelter Week for individuals who are experiencing homelessness. Whereas the Synagogue Shelter Week Committee, chaired by Julie Groden, is comprised of a large group of volunteers and a network of community partners who provide shelter guests with overnight accommodations, 3 meals a day, entertainment, transportation, and caring interactions for 1 week every year in partnership with the South Oakland Shelter Program. And whereas Congregation Beth Shalom extended their welcoming generosity on Christmas Day until New Year's Day, a traditional Christian holiday period whereby Christian churches are not able to assist the homeless due to their holiday celebrations. Congregation Beth Shalom, a Jewish synagogue, partnered with other religious establishments, including Muslim and Christian, to host a Christmas celebration for shelter guests, complete with Santa Claus, entertainment, and gifts. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Marion McClellan, Mayor of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, on behalf of the Oak Park City Council and all of our residents, by proclamation, do hereby recognize and honor Congregation Beth Shalom and their Shelter Week Committee for their generosity by providing assistance to individuals experiencing homelessness. Testimony whereof I have officially signed my name and caused the seal of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, to be affixed this 3rd day of April, 2017. Can you give them an Oak Park welcome now? And if you don't mind, if you and your husband would step up front, and counsel, if you can make it down for a photograph that we'll share with you. Now, in addition to Beth Shalom, Rabbi Nelson's wife called me and suggested that we also honor Walk in the Park Coin Laundry. Now, Dennis Bellinger and Richard Vandenberg were going to try and make it tonight but couldn't. Let me just explain to you what they did to earn their proclamation as well. They provide the complete use of their laundry facilities and donated light refreshments for the committee from Beth Shalom as part of Shelter Week. And volunteers are charged with washing, drying, folding and delivering clean linens like sheets, pillows, blankets, and mattresses to the next shelter location. Walk in the Park Coin Laundry opened their facility on New Year's Day to assist. They offered the full use of their facilities and light refreshments free of charge. And while we're honored to have Beth Shalom and their Beth Shalom family here, we're also honored to have businesses with a heart who care as well. So we will be delivering this to Walk in the Park Laundry, and we're delighted that they are laundry with a heart. Let's see, we are down to number 13. We are putting off number 12 until we get more information about the swimming pool. There will be a swimming pool repair project this this year to upgrade our swimming pool. We're on number 13, ordinances. This is first reading of an ordinance to amend Article 4, Housing, Chapter 18, Buildings and Building Regulations of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 3, Inspections thereof, permitting advertising of rental units certified within the last 6 months. First, we need a motion to approve this first reading.
Second.
This is moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, seconded by Councilmember Rich, yes. I must have liked you, I put you down twice. Can we have someone come up? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a proposed first reading of an amendment to our rental reoccupancy ordinance. Just by way of history, I know you have the memo there from Director Barrett. Currently, our rental ordinance requires an inspection or re-inspection of the premises upon reoccupancy and/or upon every 2 years. The ordinance also prohibits during the reoccupancy period the landlord from advertising the unit until the inspection has taken place. There's been some complaints by various property owners, and there's been a bit of a backlog in our inspections. So in an effort to remedy this situation, we are proposing to amend the ordinance to permit advertising of the rental unit if there has been a certificate of occupancy issued within the past 6 months. We believe that this will lead to efficiencies in our rental department, and again, ease the burden on our landlords for having to prohibiting them from advertising during the period until the new inspection has taken place.
Right. Let's see, so we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion or questions? No. We are ready for a vote. City Clerk Ed Norris. Please call a roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
That, motion carried. Thank you so much. Is there anything further from the city attorney?
No further report, thank you.
Thank you. We are on the city manager portion. Right now, City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. 15A, I wanted to remind our residents and business owners of our budget hearing schedule. I believe we're going to be putting up the public portion of it, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. These are the dates that are open to the public to participate in the budget process beginning on April 19th. And city council members will have our first city council budget review session on April 19th and a special meeting right before the regular meeting. I believe we now have a time which will, I think, be 5 p.m.
5 o'clock.
The second date that we've picked for a budget review session, if needed, will be April 24th. And that will only be added if we don't think we can get all the rest of it done at the already scheduled May 1st budget review session. We will then move to the public hearing notice on May 2nd, presentation of capital plan to the Planning Commission on May 8th, and then the final budget hearing on May 15th, followed by what I hope will be your approval of my annual 3-year budget and millage rate adoption, including the fee schedule. So I wanted to remind you of that. And 15B is a resolution receiving special assessment rolls establishing April 19th, 2017 as the date for the public hearing on the rolls for unpaid charges for city expenses incurred on private premises for delinquent utilities, number 660, false alarms, number 661, property blight, number 662, and sidewalk replacement, number 663.
And do we need a vote?
To schedule the public hearing, yes.
So moved.
This was moved by Councilmember Speech. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Burns. Is there discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Mayor, members of council, I'd like to ask Director Maroney to join me at the podium to explain 15C.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, and City Manager Eric Tungate. I have in front of you for 15C a proposal to sell a portion of Lessinger Park to a local business, Michigan Dessert Company. We had previously come to City Council in the fall to see if this would be something you would be willing to move forward with. In exchange for us taking a portion of Lessinger Park for them to do an expansion project, they would pay for the property, and then City Council can then decide what they would like to do with it, whether it's park improvements or put it towards other projects within the city. We did have a contract for a purchase agreement that was sent out to City Council members. After review with our city attorneys, they would prefer that we do the appraisal and the survey prior to us entering into the contract so that the dates are accurate, and we also have the correct legal description within the actual purchase agreement. I did put in front of City Council members this evening a short summary that our City Attorney's Office has put together on what the terms would be for the sale of the property. It describes the property itself. It would be a lot approximately 340 feet by 125 feet. And the exact boundaries will be specified during that survey process. The purchase price would be $50,000 or the the appraised value, whichever is higher. And then it's contingent on a few items before we can close, one being rezoned as light industrial, completing the appraisal and survey, and then doing the lot split. And then the closing costs would be prorated, half going to the city and half going to the buyer of the property. And then the buyer would also pay for the survey and the appraisal of the property and the terms of the sale. We're anticipating a closing date on or before May 31st. That's all going to be determined based on when we actually get the appraisal and survey back and enter into the actual contract and do the lot split. So there's a lot of variables out there, but before we can move forward, we need to make sure City Council is willing to support these terms of the sale, and then we can order the survey and the appraisal. And I do have the owner of the company, Richard Elias, in the audience if you'd like to ask him any questions.
Let's get the motion to approve the sale of city-owned vacant property, a portion of Lessinger Park. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Councilmember Rich made the motion. Mayor Pro Tem Burns seconded. Is there discussion or questions? Mayor Pro Tem.
What type of company is the Michigan Dessert Associates?
They're a food product company. They create food products for the food industry, mostly for restaurants, correct?
So there'll be like would it be more of a manufacturing facility, or can people walk in and buy things? Or?
No, more of a manufacturing facility.
Madam Mayor?
Councilmember Speech.
Yes. Director Maroney, I know, I appreciate you bringing this back to us, and I'm excited about it. One of the things I had a question about was if the property was, more of the property was portioned off, what, if anything, the Recreation Department could use the remaining space for? Because part of the park is already split with some pavement.
Yeah.
So were you able to speak with the Recreation Director, and does she have any ideas?
Yeah, the Recreation Director, Lori Stasiak, had a recommendation after talking to her Recreation Advisory Board of possibly putting in another pavilion there. The ones that we have at Shepherd Park are utilized quite often and usually booked solid, so she thought that that would be a good use. Again, with the terms of the agreement, once it's finalized, City Council can determine what they want to spend the money towards.
Okay, so it will still be quite usable space?
Correct.
Even with that portion gone?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, may I?
City Manager Tungate.
Council members, I just wanted to clarify, one of the things that I thought was important is that we set the floor at 50,000, and it's possible the appraisal might not come back at a higher value than 50,000, but at the very least, we would receive that, whichever is greater. And number two, I think it was just said, as Councilmember Speech asked about, assuming it's 50,000, whatever it is in the end, those dollars would be able to be appropriated at the desire of City Council, the majority of City Council. You could appropriate it for recreation use or some other use.
Okay.
Further questions? No? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes?
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem Burns, if you have any comments? Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot the audience. Call to the audience. Is there anyone who would like to speak?
Who else? Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy, Oak Park. This sale of Lessinger Park is scaring me. Lessinger Park dead ends on Scotia. You're talking about a lot of truck traffic going up and down Scotia. And I don't know if the school's still going to be open down there at Lessinger or not, because it's been turned into advanced high school or training school. But there's an extensive amount of trucks that might be going down either Albany or down Scotia, and it's dead ends there. So that would be my concern, because I live in that area, and the increased traffic over there might be a hazard with the kids going to school across the street over at Key School. The other thing is, I was ecstatic with the new flyer that we got. If nobody's got them, I liked it. My only problem that I found is that I'm not on the recycling committee, but my husband is, and he doesn't drive, so they get stuck with me every 2 months. On our calendar, there's a healthy lawn seminar next Wednesday night over at this, and it's not even mentioned in here. There's a lot of things mentioned in here, but just for the future, that when whoever proofreads them, whatever's on the calendar should also be in this. So,
I'm sorry, can I make a comment? Yeah, I agree with you. It's not in there, but it is advertised
right.
somewhere else.
It's out there in the lobby.
It's in the lobby, but no, it's
Yeah.
also, there's a flyer
Right,
being circulated
right,
as well.
right. But it's not in this.
I don't think that when that went into production that we had
Okay.
decided.
Well, this
to
went
do
to
it
print before the end of the year.
I'm sorry?
The calendar went into print before the first.
But the magazine didn't though.
Right.
But the
That's what I'm
magazine-
saying. I think they need to check and balance. That's all.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I loved it. So,
Thank you. Just give us your name and address.
Hi, good evening. My name is Linda Koger. I live at 22010 Jerome Street. I've been the homeowner there since 2002. I've been a resident in Oak Park since 1982. My concern is, if this can be an ordinance or is it under an ordinance, there's this long wall along our residential area when you come off of 9 Mile South, which will be Troy, and the street curves around. There's this long extended concrete wall. Is there something under the ordinance that whomever owns those apartments, or I don't know who owns the wall, if it's an Oak Park wall or if it's the resident complex wall, but I think this wall should be like just painted in one unified color, even if it's like the color of the bench here. That way, when the graffiti is constantly put on the wall, they won't have all these patches of different colors. I think it would be better for the neighborhood for beautification purposes. I think it would just make the city look better for the south side of Oak Park if something could be done about this patchwork wall. I don't know who handles that.
We will look into it. Thank you for
Okay,
bringing
thank
it
you.
to our attention.
One more little question on this project for 9 Mile. I keep reading, well, I haven't been able to come to a city-county meeting in years, and I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'm from the old side of the building, way back then. Are you saying that you're going to bring 2 lanes down and 2 lanes going east, well, west and east, down to just 1 lane, including just a lane for a turn lane? Is that what you're looking at? Is this gonna be, what's gonna happen with the properties, the homes? You have one side of 9 Mile that's totally residential.
Can you see
she is right
Director
there.
Maroney in the back of the room? And she will explain a lot
How
to
that's gonna
you
work?
about how
Okay.
that's going to work. I think it'll relieve your mind.
Okay, super
She's in the
duper.
back of the room.
Okay,
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming. So
Thank you.
delighted that you came. All right. Anyone else? Sahara?
Hi, everyone. Zena Tisha. I live in West Bloomfield, 6265 Branford Drive, but I own Sahara Restaurant here in Oak Park. And I just wanted to say thank you to the city and the mayor and the council for once again renewing our Class C liquor license for this year. Are excited to have another year. Looking forward to more and more business for the city, and hopefully, see some other restaurants maybe come in. We would love that, and we're crossing our fingers for that. And so it's just exciting for the Corridor Improvement Authority. We're making some developments there. I know it's going to take a few years, but there's a lot of nice changes planned for the city as well. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody left? Okay. If there's no one in the audience that would like to speak, Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Well, spring has sprung, everyone. Please dress accordingly. Don't get too comfortable too soon. This is pneumonia weather. And be cognizant of our kids going to school in the early morning hours. With the time change, it is still dark. Thank you, and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Speech.
Yes, first I want to, if I may, Mayor, just address something that Ms. Bannon said. She mentioned the presentation we just had regarding Lessinger Park. There is something I'm very glad about, which is the Detroit Dessert Company. Excuse me, if that goes through, they have already have a building that's in the industrial part of our city. So they won't be going through any neighborhoods or anything like that. They're just going to be building out. And so they're taking the back part of their building and building out. And so there won't be anything that interrupts the daily that we're used to. There shouldn't be. If there is, you guys can let us know. But no, I don't expect that. But we are, of course, glad that that company even thought to stay here and to grow. So just to dissuade any angst on your part. But also regarding Lessinger and all the parks here, I've noticed there's a lot of trash, and because, the snow has left, there's a lot of trash and different things around. So in your yard, or if anyone else's, if you feel so inclined, please think about picking it up, or, if there's a receptacle. I do it. I encourage other people to do it. The spring is here, so we want everything to look nice and beautiful in Oak Park. And I mentioned it the last time, but the end of this month, we will have the receptacles at the complex, so you can look forward to putting trash out at that time. So just start collecting things, and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Rich.
Madam Mayor, the precedent's been set before that the last person to speak during call to the council simply says good night. So, seeing as how you're going to be the last person to speak, I leave it to you to say good night.
Thank you. Thank you. I have two things that I'd like to share with you. One, good news about Federal Express. We were at a ribbon cutting last week that opened officially this 300,000 square foot huge automated factory. It is enormous and it is very automated. They have some kind of scanner that scans all 6 sides of the package and takes a picture of it and makes sure it goes to the right place. It is almost eerie. They put 15,000 packages an hour is what they can put through that facility. The people who do the trucks are small businessmen who own the trucks themselves and contract with FedEx to deliver. So that's an interesting source of jobs. We had our staff, city staff here. We had people from Oakland County came to the grand opening. And it was amazing. The neatest thing about it was that they're a community-minded company, and they sent 2 of their representatives to the Tri-Community Coalition Dialogue Day with teens. And they talked to the teens about solving problems and coming up with legislation that will solve that kind of problem, and it was wonderful. So we're very excited to have FedEx as part of the Oak Park community of companies. They also promised to hire locally. The first 200 people that they hired were experienced people, but then as they need more capacity, they promised to hire locally. So it's a great company to work for. It was named Fortune magazine named it one of the top 100 companies in the country to work for, and they're usually in the top 10 of that. So it's great. That is a wonderful thing. Then the other wonderful thing that we had was the Art Museum at City Hall. If you're here in the audience, please stop and look at all the portraits that are on the outside, because the city of Oak Park partners with Oak Park Schools, and 2 amazing art teachers work probably 90-hour weeks, I think, leading up to this art fair, double matting these portraits, having the portrait float on the background. I mean, the caliber of work is high school or college. It's just amazing. We had those kids come in to City Hall, and the city gave them light refreshments and a drawing pad to encourage them to continue drawing in their life, and special pencils. So a couple of them wrote us notes back that I just feel like I've got to share a couple with you. Some of the kids got to come up and sit in the council seats. Dear Mayor McClellan, I'm the one that got to sit in your seat. I thank you for bringing us over. I had so much fun, and thank you for the sketch pad and pencils, the cookies and the water. I hope I can come again next time. So they're just adorable. Part of it, we were waiting for some other students to arrive, and I started talking to them about what the mayor does and how we have to make decisions that, like their allowance. It's a limited budget, and we have to make choices, sometimes hard choices, between good things. And the example that I gave them, well, the pool needs updating, and the public safety director came to city council and asked for a canine unit. And so we had to make some hard choices with limited funds and made some decisions. And we decided I said, what do you think would affect more people? The pool is open for a couple months in the summer, and some of us like to swim, but everybody wants a safe city. And so they said, oh, we need the dog. So Cameron said, I had a great time on the trip. Thank you for taking the vote on the dog. Just saying, it's a very positive vote.
Was this planted by the director?
Director did not plant this, no. Nope. I love what you've done with the place, and I know our painting will be shown to lots of people. Thank you for the sketch pads, and as soon as I got on the bus, I started writing in it. Thanks for the cookie and spending time with us before you had to go. Thank you for letting us come to City Hall and for hanging up our paintings. From Einstein School, Joe Perry. And here's a kid with obvious good taste. P.S. I love your hair. Just, they're so adorable. Let's see. I learned that when you talked about the dog and the pool, and I decided that I would also pick the dog. So there's a lot of votes out there, Director Cooper, for your request. Yes, yes. I'm grateful for everything you did to Oak Park, all the problems you have solved and all the cases that have closed. I really love the sketchbook that you brought for us. We all knew that you were happy to see us. I knew you were a special person, Kayla Thorpe. So thanks to all of the wonderful students who came and the teachers at Oak Park High, Oak Park Elementary Schools who helped us. And I will take your advice, there being nothing further to come before this council. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming and good night. I go by this so that I can drop it off.